So after Elden Ring's massive success, I have seen a lot of growing popularity of Souls-like games, and to be quite frank, I've always been intimidated by games like Dark Souls, but I have recently gotten into the genre and I gotta say, it's pretty fun. I mean, who doesn't like getting absolutely fucked? And I asked myself the question, what mods are out there that could simulate pretty much the same experience in Skyrim, in my favorite game? So I'm gonna share with you a real hidden gem that has somehow gotten past everyone's radar. Welcome to turning Skyrim into a Souls-like, or whatever I'm gonna call this video. Today I will feature 1/2 mods, let me explain. There's the Hidden Blades mod that's pretty much the complete version, featuring 9 followers, 4 bosses, and a few sets of weapons and armor. And then there's Ghosts of Akavir that only adds the bosses without everything else. Only use one mod at a time and choose the one that best suits what you're looking for, but for the sake of this video, I'll be looking at the more complete one. So if you only care about the bosses, just skip forward in the video. I'll be marking down the timestamps in the description. So who are the Hidden Blades? We all know that the Blades are the extinct faction in the Elder Scrolls, descended from the Akaviri Dragon Guard. The Order of the Blades were the elite protectors of the Emperor during a better age. They have been disbanded during the Great War and are now haunted by the Aldmeri Dominion. So that is simplified official Elder Scrolls lore, but who are the Hidden Blades now? They are the new military order created after the Great War, the new generation of blades that work in hiding. Their goal is to serve the Dragonborn and put him on the Imperial throne. They are now coming out of the shadow as people's focus is on the current civil war. So let me introduce to you your new companions. You first got Omoy, who you can find in the Falkreath Tavern. He's an ex-moth priest and an addict to drinking, gambling, and bouncy physics mods. And he has a cool hat. Shokin at the Temple of Talos in Windhelm, a former honored Imperial soldier. Vayu, this guy's hot, he's got the abilities of an Akaviri shaman and is said to be a lot older than he looks, and the magic could be what's keeping his youth intact. Seiko, this week's waifu, a former criminal adopted by the Order alongside another orphan, Kogo. They have grown close together and my boy got family zoned. The mod page states that they're like brother and sister, so there's still a chance out there for you guys. Ishin, an elite who's been with the Order all his life, and his best friend Kinomaru, whose magic cloak hurts my eyes. Hurts me to say this, he's a really cute boy, but oof. Ishin found him as a stray dog in the woods and they have fought together ever since. Taku, a former thug and drifter. Having lived a life of crime, he found himself in Riften, where he somewhat blends in with the crowd. Jin, an adventurer who just apparently happened to randomly end up in the Order as well. And finally Day, who intended to walk the noble path of knighthood until he killed a man over an argument about a woman.
Simp.
He was then recruited and trained in the traditional Akaviri magic. Now technically speaking, all these followers have custom weapons and armor. Not sure if all armor pieces are custom, but you get what I mean. They all have generic voice lines, but I think they're still a neat addition as they all have their own lore, even if it's not explicitly said in the game. But while I like the followers on their own, I know what you clicked on this video for, so let's take a look at the meat of this mod. And if you're vegan, let's take a look at the tofu of this mod. We'll start with Agio the Giant. You can find him in Bloated Man's Grotto after he killed a couple Thalmor soldiers. Even if this guy is doing God's work, he will still attack you on sight because he got small brain syndrome, even if he's a giant. He wields the ghostly sword Makoto, a huge blade who has once been the property of an Akaviri demon. You'll notice that all bosses on this list look unique and have that cool Akaviri style to them. This guy's moves are essentially the same animations as a regular giant, but has some cool magic effects that make him feel unique. In my opinion, he was the easiest boss on the list, but I would still consider him an overall great opponent. Our next 3 bosses are going to be back-to-back action. As you walk through Karthspire and take out the Forsworn, you'll be met with the Ancient Dragon Guard Order, along with their last surviving general, Taira Matsutoshi. To be fair, this guy on his own is not such a big challenge as he's just a beefed up armored Draugr Deathlord, but chances are that you won't fight him alone. But since I'm a total coward, I killed all of them one by one to make it easier. Overall, I'd say it's still a good fight and a very good challenge staying in your way for the next 2 bosses. If you know how Karthspire goes, you'll also get a cool trap puzzle room, and After that, we go into our third event. Next up, we got Dragon Guard Priestess, giving me huge corrupted monk vibes from Sekiro. She is massive, probably even bigger than the actual giant, and that weapon she's wielding, well, if I were to use that, you guys would say that I would be compensating for something. And to that I say, you'd be right. The Priestess is fast, but has clear combos which make it easier to dodge or parry. I would say this is the best one so far on the list, and is a true Souls-like boss in my book. May you rest in peace, it was an honorable fight. And for our final boss, you have to get into the Sky Heaven Temple main room. So getting in could be a little annoying since you gotta advance in the main quest. Or use console commands. But once you're in, take in the view, this place is stunning. Inside, look for this glowing anomaly, which is the memory of Ramon Cyrodiil, and it will lead you to an alternate timeline in which the temple is completely destroyed. And here, you will find the main event, the Spirit of Wrath, the manifestation of the demon which dwells inside the mind of Ramon Cyrodiil. Now hear me out, this guy is basically Ishin Sword Saint, but with fire instead of lightning. But I still think it's really cool. I mean, he even has a gun. But I would say this whole fight is a spectacle. The fight is challenging and very flashy. But if you're the real warrior that you say you are, this shouldn't stop you from taking over and freeing Ramon from this demon. Overall, this mod's main attraction are the bosses. But I gotta say that I really love the lore behind each character. If you want to really enjoy fighting these bosses, I recommend watching my combat mods video that I'll be linking in the description. My combat setup is somewhat inspired from Sekiro because I really like using katanas and I'm a little bit of a weeb, but you can still use other weapons with the setup and it doesn't make the game too challenging. It's just more fun in my opinion. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this in which I showcase one mod, which is like a quest or more bosses or whatever, because I really had a lot of fun filming this video. This was one of my favorite videos to film, honestly, because I was like playing the game after a long time. And let me know if you have trouble with the bosses as well. But before you go, this video is brought to you by absolutely nothing. So leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel would mean the world. Thank you. So with that said, go watch my other videos. I won't keep you guys much longer. He's safe, don't worry. So I loaded up this older game called Skyrim. I started making videos people be admiring. Well, on one hand it gets pretty tough. I can't help to admit that it's some really cool stuff. I get back in the game after I played so many times. I thought it would get boring after committing so many crimes. Did you know the Ripple Chicken is considered a person? Now that's a dumb feature that ruins my immersion. You thought there's gonna be no MXR mods reference? Between him and